Hi, I'm Judy. Welcome to Go with Yin Yoga. Today I have a Yin Yoga practice that will help you get over imposter syndrome and will also help you to grow into who you were meant to be. And let's go ahead and take an easy seated position to begin with. And just relax your face. Soften your jaw. Let your shoulders fall away from your ears, letting go of anything that happened before you stepped on your mat. And just stepping into the present, being here now. And normally here I invite you to close your eyes, but I'd like you to see what I'm doing. This is called Lotus Mudra, when you take your pinkies together and your thumbs together and the rest of the fingers stretch out to either side. You can inhale looking into your lotus flower, and then exhale, take your arms out to either side, pushing away. Inhale, bring the hands back into Lotus Mudra. Exhale, push all those limiting beliefs away. Exhale, bring your hands back into Lotus Mudra. I invite you now to close your eyes if you're comfortable with that. Otherwise, allow yourself to gaze at the tip of your nose, letting your gaze become unfocused, taking your attention inward. Again, letting go of anything that came before this moment, right here, right now. This practice is going to strengthen your knees and your hips. It's actually a really simple practice composed of basically 3 poses, but variation of those 3 poses. Never mistake simple for ineffective. This is highly effective. It will target your spleen and stomach meridians, and that will help you to let go of worry and anxiety, to digest ideas, emotions, feelings, as well as your food. It's meant to be a very grounding practice so that you can get focused on what you want to be, and that is another intention that I'm offering to you today, growing into who you want to be. So we're working with frog pose a lot in today's practice. Frog start as tadpoles, and we are going to work some with half frog pose, which could be considered tadpole. And then let go of your moving lotus mudra. Allow your hands to just come to your lap. Continue to take your attention to your breath, going deeper and deeper inside, letting the outside world fade away. And tadpoles symbolically are representative of ideas that haven't come to fruition. So we're moving from spring into summer, and I'm sure you have a lot of dreams, hopes, plans that maybe you haven't taken action on. So think about that tadpole and how it turns into a frog, something very, very different from what it started as. And also think about what's holding you back from going after those dreams, those goals, those plans. Is it imposter syndrome, that feeling that you aren't good enough? Who am I to teach you yoga? So these are just the intentions that I'm going to offer to you. And now would be a great time to make an intention that speaks to you. It can be completely different from what I've offered to you. On your next exhale, go ahead and blink your eyes open. Come off of whatever you may have been sitting on. I'm going to suggest that you take something. I have a blanket. You may use a towel. And place it horizontally across your mat. We are going to be working with our knees, as I mentioned earlier. And so having that blanket underneath can just pad your knees a little bit more and make the poses a bit more comfortable. And my braid's already falling apart. I'm going to move my blanket a little further down. So like I said, roughly halfway down your mat. You can always adjust it. Something to pad your knees. And go ahead, take your bolster, bring it to the side, come down onto your elbows, stretching your legs out behind you, and then bend one knee. Doesn't really matter which knee it is. And bring it on top of the bolster. This is half frog. You could also roll some blankets. That actually might feel nicer. I'm finding that the bolster is a little high. But this is what I have to work on. You can have no bolster underneath your leg at all. And so the leg with the bent knee, your leg is coming out from your hips, knees bent, and your lower leg is parallel to the long end of your mat. Last couple of breaths here. If you have your knee on a bolster, totally optional, go ahead and remove that. Bring the bolster forward. We will be using this later in our practice, a little later, and just take that same leg out to the side. So same pose, but without the bolster. And I'll be honest, it's actually a little more comfortable for me. So I need to remember that. And try and soften as much as you can in this pose. Even a half frog can be pretty challenging. And you can also, if it feels a little too much on your back, you can go ahead and just bring your head down, just like this. Maybe taking your attention here to your stomach. Thinking about awakening that digestion, decreasing worry. Digesting and letting go of ideas that are no longer serving you, such as I am not good enough. Who am I to you fill in the blank? Last couple of breaths here. And then slowly straighten out the back leg. Press into your elbows and then your palms. Take your big toes together and your knees out as wide as the mat. And come down into child's pose. You can always grab that bolster and use that for some support. I know child pose is not restful for everybody. But this is just going to let your back release some of the tension you've created. And go ahead and press into your hands. Grab the bolster if you used it on that side. And we're coming into our second side. And go ahead and slowly come down to your elbows. Take the opposite leg up onto the bolster. And either have your upper torso in Sphinx pose, so your elbows are approximately under your shoulders, or stack your hands on top of each other, take your elbows out to either side, and lower yourself down. Bring your forehead onto your hands. If you're up on your elbows, you're getting some compression in your low back, and that may feel nice to you. It was feeling a little too much for me. This does feel very nice to me, and just because it feels nice to me does not mean it will feel nice to you. What does your inner tadpole want to grow into? How will you grow this summer? If you have your knee up on the bolster, I'm going to invite you to move that back up. We still need our bolster. And again, take that leg out to the side. Thigh comes out from your hip, knee bends, shin parallels the outer edge, the longer edge of the mat. Thinking about the duality of letting go and growing, and how you often need to let go to grow. Again, maybe take your attention to your stomach. Maybe give it some gratitude for taking in food, digesting food, without you ever having to think about it. Turning that food into fuel, giving you energy to go through your days. There is a lot to be thankful for when it comes to our stomachs. Last couple of breaths here. And again, slowly move that foot back to the other one. Reach both feet behind you, coming up onto your elbows, and then onto the palms of your hands, coming briefly through tabletop. Big toes touch, knees come out wide, and hips come back to your heels. Maybe the forehead reaches to the mat, maybe it doesn't. You can always place a block underneath your forehead if you wish. Place a blanket underneath your forehead. Just a few breaths here. And then go ahead and press into your palms. Walk them back towards your body, leaving your blanket where it is. Going ahead and taking your bolster horizontally across your mat. Walking up a little bit to it and taking your stomach to your bolster. And one leg comes out and then the other. Knees are bent. Shins are parallel to the long end of the mat. Ankles are approximately below your knees. And full frog. And you can go ahead again. Bend your arms out to either side. Stack one hand on top of the other. And place your forehead onto your hands. Again, you can always use a block for this. If it feels better to stay upright, go ahead and do that. You do you. And if you want to practice full frog without the bolster, again, that's perfectly fine too. It is, for most bodies, a more intense stretch, for want of a better word. More intense pose that way, because we're not really stretching. And I know I say this in almost every video, but it's really important to remember to really get that you're not stretching your muscles in Yin Yoga, not the targeted muscles in each pose. And in this pose, we are targeting our inner thighs, our knees, our hips. So we want those to be relaxed. And see if you can just soften. Because we come into poses and our muscles really want to help us and they want to contract. And that's not what we're looking for, because we're trying to strengthen our connective tissue, the things that join bones together, help us to move our joints, and keep us happy long into our life when they are strong. And how's your breathing? Is it smooth and deep? If it's not, perhaps you need to play around with the pose a little bit and get into a variation that feels right in your body and allows you to relax all those muscles. Last couple of breaths here. And slowly press into your hands to raise your head, up onto your elbows, and then onto the palms of your hands. Take your feet back towards each other. Come up into tabletop position. Move your bolster off to the side. You may want it in just a minute or so. Go ahead and fold your blanket back up. You may also want that in a minute or so, and you may not. Go ahead and take the soles of your feet to your mat. Slowly come onto your elbows and then all the way onto your back. Go ahead and stretch your legs out. And on an inhale, bend that right knee and bring it towards your chest. Wrap your hands around wherever is comfortable, half wind pose. Take a few breaths here. Really grounding into your mat, ultimately into the earth. Allowing yourself to become focused. What do I need to grow? And then slowly stretch the right leg down the mat. Pause. Notice any difference side to side. On your next inhale, bend the left knee. Bring it in towards your chest. Holding wherever is comfortable for you. It could be on your shin, it could be under your knee, around your thigh, whatever works for you. Half wind pose. And then let that knee go. Stretch it down towards the short end of your mat. Take a couple of breaths here. And on your next inhale, take both knees in towards your chest. Maybe the hands clasp around your shins, maybe they don't. It's okay. Again, wherever you can hold on to. On the inhale, your knees move away a little bit from your chest, and on the exhale, they move a little bit towards your chest. And exhale, let both feet come down to the mat. Hands are down by your hips. And let's just take a moment to make sure our spine is nice and straight before we move into Shavasana, our final pose. Let's go ahead and inhale and push the tailbone into your mat. Slight arch in your back. Exhale, let your tailbone round up towards the sky or ceiling. Inhale, pushing into the mat, arching. Exhale, tailbone comes up a little bit. And one last time. Inhale, arch. And exhale, pelvis tilts up a little bit. Let that go. Come to a neutral back. Having a slight arch there. Think about really growing from your tailbone all the way up to the crown of your head. And then take your hands to your neck and think about stretching your neck back. Maybe you want to grab a blanket at this point and roll it a little bit and put it behind your neck. Either way, you might like to take your chin just a little bit into your chest. And then grab that bolster if you'd like to. Place it under your knees. Walk your feet forward a little bit. Place the bolster under your knees and stretch one foot out to the short end of the mat and the other. Letting the feet fall out to either side and the arms come away from the body a little bit. Relaxing into Shavasana, this version of Shavasana, or whatever is a resting pose to you. I am going to sit up and mind the time for us. Just allow yourself to feel supported, to feel safe, to let this practice just integrate with your entire body and also letting go at the same time. And just relax until you hear me speak again. The invitation to close your eyes if that's comfortable. The invitation to take your attention back to any intention you set at the beginning of this practice. Mine was to ditch your limiting beliefs, overcome imposter syndrome, and let go of anything that's holding you back from your dreams. Allow your breath begin to deepen. And I have a few questions to ask you to ponder as you are moving from Shavasana back into the present moment. And maybe you take these questions with you off the mat. Maybe you journal about them after this practice. What opportunities are you shrinking away from? What ideas are you not allowing to come to fruition? It could be plans as well, and goals and dreams. What actions do you need to take to allow yourself to grow this summer, to allow yourself to step into the person you were born to be? And what do you need to let go of so that you can achieve and grow into the person you are meant to be and achieve your dreams and your goals? And begin to take any small movements that you need, still keeping your eyes closed if they are. Maybe taking your chin to your chest and then letting it fall back just a little, just getting a little movement into your neck, looking from side to side. Maybe shrug your shoulders up to your ears and then let them come back down. Perhaps wiggling your fingers and your toes. Still inviting movement into your body. Beginning to move from the inner world into the outer world. On your next inhale, take your arms up overhead, allowing yourself to grow, and then let yourself roll over to either side. Take a few deep breaths here. And take your palms of your hands to your mat. Begin to push into your palms to lift your torso upright slowly and gently. And coming back into an easy seated position. Your eyes still closed. Inhale, bring the palms of your hands together in front of your heart. Elbows flare out wide. pressing into those middle fingers. Thinking about, again, what you're letting go on one side to grow on the other. Slightly bowing your head over your hands. Giving yourself gratitude for taking this time for yourself today, as I give gratitude to you for practicing with me and for all my teachers who have shared their wisdom with me. Slowly blinking your eyes open, taking in your mat, raising your head with a smile, letting your hands come down to your knees. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you grow into the person you were born to be. And may you be free from all suffering and pain. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and click the like button. If you'd like to practice with me again, go ahead and subscribe. It also helps me to bring free yoga to others. If you're interested in going deeper into yoga, I invite you to join my Facebook group. It's linked up underneath in the description. And I will also have it in a comment that I will pin under this video. I do some live videos in the group from time to time. And I've also begun to occasionally, maybe not every Friday, but start to go live in the group on some Fridays to give you some Friday food for thought, or a little Dharma talk. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have an amazing day or evening whenever you are practicing.